Hi and welcome to Automic Automation. This is the first video of a series that will help you get acquainted with the user interface. In this video I will give you just a high-level overview of your workspace. Other videos in the series go deeper in specific areas of the interface. You are seeing the login dialog. My system administrator has given me the credentials I need to log in, and I have already entered them. Now I'll click OK to log in. This is the home page. It contains the dashboards that your administrator has assigned to you. Dashboards are a quick way to access the objects, tasks and functions, to which you have access rights. If you have the necessary rights, you can also create your own dashboards. The user interface is organized around perspectives. A perspective is a functional area that contains access to the functions that a particular user role needs. Depending on your user role, you will have access to one or more perspectives. The administration perspective is where administrators create and manage users, user groups, clients, agents, connections, and many more. The process assembly perspective is where developers and object designers create and configure objects, and write scripts to extend the object configuration options. The process monitoring perspective is where operators and managers keep an eye on processes, and make sure that the workload gets processed every day, smoothly and without incidents, and where they troubleshoot if something went wrong. The dashboards perspective gives operators and managers quick access to customized views. Finally, my catalog is the personal dashboard of operators and managers. I have access rights to all perspectives, so I can see all the buttons. I can hide the buttons from the menu bar, and I can make them visible again too. To open a perspective, I simply click the corresponding button. Next to the perspective buttons is the notifications area. It contains the requests and the messages buttons. If there are requests that require your attention, the requests button indicates how many they are. The same happens with the messages button. If there are messages with information on the status of my processes, the icon indicates their urgency. The search box is the starting point for object and task searches. It is also the entry point for the advanced object search. If I put my cursor in the box without typing anything, I can access the advanced search. I'll click the link. Here I can configure a filter to perform detailed searches. Let's go back. If I enter something in the search box, a drop-down list shows me potential matches. Let us enter jobs. I can open and work with the objects and tasks from here. For example, I can right-click an entry to open a menu with the same functions as in the process assembly, for objects, or process monitoring, for tasks. I am not going to go deeper into the search functions now, but if you are interested, please have a look at the video about the search capabilities. Your system has a context-sensitive help. When you click the Help button in the menu bar, the documentation opens to the page that explains what you are currently seeing. Next to the Help button is the Session Information and User Settings drop-down menu. It shows the name and department with which I have logged in, as well as the automation engine system and client. Clients are self-contained environments that your system administrator has configured to depict your company's business. Multiple clients share an automation engine instance on the same hardware, but do not access the same data. I will open the menu. Here I have options to customize the user interface, change the color of my session, change my password and so forth. Now, let's have a quick look at the perspectives. They all follow a common design pattern. Let's start with the administration perspective. The left pane contains links to all the administration areas. I can hide and show it by clicking this arrow. You can hide and show this way the navigation panes in all perspectives. When I click one of the links, for example the agents, its content is displayed. To access the functions that are available for an agent, I right-click it to open the context menu. The content pane always has a toolbar with buttons for important functions. Some of those buttons open a right pane, such as the filter in this case. Let's switch to the process assembly perspective. As you see, there is also a left navigation pane, a content area with the list of objects that you have access to, a context menu with all the functions that are available for the selected object, a toolbar with shortcuts to the most important object functions, and a Write Details pane that opens when I select an object and click the Details button. In the process monitoring perspective, you can see a very similar pattern. The left pane provides access to the tasks, to the list of fulfillments associated to your SLOs, that is, service level objective objects, and to the forecasts. Let's have a look at the Tasks tab. It contains a quick filter with few important criteria. The main pane contains the list of all active tasks. I can change this and also include deactivated tasks, but this could have an impact on the performance of my system. When I right-click a task, the context menu shows the options that are available for the task according to its type and to its status. I can also access those functions using the toolbar. The task toolbar contains some other very important functions. For example, the filter is very useful if the list contains many tasks. Some of the filter options here are the same as the ones in the quick filter. The Details button opens another pane with detailed information about the configuration of the object that triggered a task, and about the status and execution of the task. The process monitoring perspective has two additional bars. In the title bar, I can change the list view and have the tasks displayed either in a hierarchical or in a plain list view. It tells me how many tasks are displayed. At the far end, the Refresh button lets me update the list manually. It refreshes automatically at intervals defined by your system administrator. The status bar below tells me how many tasks are on each of the main statuses. My catalog gives operators and managers quick access to the objects, folders and functions that they are responsible for. Here they can start executable objects, monitor their current tasks, review past runs, and see the execution data and reports. You can find more information in our documentation at docs.automic.com.